Morning, ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now today starts a new little series over the next 10 days where we will be looking at what I think is the strongest tanks per tier and the weakest tanks per tier. So I really wanted to go sort of from tier 1 upwards to tier 10, but trying to get the footage, honestly, I was trying to play tier 1 and I kept being in queue for 5 minutes, 6 minutes at a time before I gave up, then try again and 5-6 minutes, and then I'd try tier 2 and the same thing would happen. In the end I gave up because it was just taking so freaking long. So what I've decided to do is I'm just going to start from tier 5. It's ideal because that's where usually people start anyway. So we are going to look at, over the next 5 days, we're going to look at, or 6 days, whatever it works out to be, we're going to look at the strongest tanks per tier. So today we're going to look at the strongest tier 5 tank in the game. And again, as I always say in all my videos, this is my personal opinion and people will have a different opinion to mine, and if you do have a different opinion to mine, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I honestly don't mind if your opinion is different to mine. It's actually good to see all different opinions, you know. I like to see all different opinions, and this tier 5, I think there will be a lot of different opinions. So the strongest tank in tier 5, I think it is the T1 Heavy. Some people maybe go for the KV22 or maybe even the KV1 or even maybe the BDR. There are a few tanks in tier 5 that is pretty solid, but I just think for a number of years now the T1 Heavy has held that crown. It's held that title because it is a very, very good tank. Armor profile wise, gun wise, speed wise, DPM wise, all of it is absolutely fantastic. Now the whole armor and the turret armor on this thing is both 151 millimeters thick. That is absolutely crazy. That's strong for tier 5. Tier 4s are going to struggle to be able to penetrate you. So very, very good armor profile. Of course, it's even better when you are angled. If you're looking directly at a tank, tier 6s, of course, will be able to penetrate you quite easily unless you are angled to a certain degree. So the DPM is 1475, and that is almost a 6.5 second reload. Your penetration 128 on your AP and 177 on your APCR, 38 on your HE. Now you've got 160 alpha on your AP, 135 on your APCR, and 200 on your HE. Aim time is not the best at 4.3. Dispersion is not the best at 0.407. It does, however, have 10 degrees of gun depression, and it goes 34 kilometers per hour. So ever since I played this tank, I've absolutely loved it, and I've always been sort of, is it the strongest? Because the BDR also is very, very strong, but overall, for the speed, the armor profile, the gun, I had to go for the T1 Heavy. In fact, the T1 Heavy on my own account is the only tank in the whole game that I have actually enriched. Yes, it is a tier 5 tank and I have enriched it because I just think it's fantastic, and if I ever want to go and play tier 5, this always is my go-to tank. You know, it's not often I play tier 5, but if I did want to play tier 5, this would be the tank I choose to go to. Of course, a lot of people will prefer the BDR. The BDR is kind of the same. It's got good DPM, it's got good armor profile, it's not the slowest of tanks, it's quite quick, but I had to go for the T1 Heavy. It's just a brilliant tank all around. It's quite a tall tank as well, so with the gun depression, you're able to get up on these hills and look over quite easily and only show your turret. And of course, if you're moving your turret sort of side to side, it is actually a really difficult pen. But as I said at the beginning, if you are looking directly at a tank, then people will be able to penetrate you quite easily. So we're now just going to push this KV2. Of course, I do want to get rid of him. He's a dangerous target. We are one tank each down. but of course I'm just going to focus on Uncle Daniel here, whatever his name is, because I want him gone. And here's the KV2, and he does manage to clear him. So the VK36 behind, I'm going to ignore him because I'm thinking that the VK28 should be able to deal with him nice and easy. So there goes the Stug. So it is now a 5 versus 3, so it shouldn't be too bad. I'm still full hit points. Now I've only done 900 damage this game. It's nothing really too special. We have also blocked 440 damage as well, which again is not the best, but considering we're against tier 6s, I think, you know, that's all right. That's not too bad. So just a Cromwell B here. We're going to go for the little ram, and an extra 119 damage into him, and he's going to try and run away. But of course, with our reload, it's not easy, but I don't even manage to get the kill anyway. So only 1300 damage there, but honestly, it showcases how strong this tank actually is on the battlefield. So if you do manage to get against tier 4s, this tank is an absolute beast. Now unfortunately, over the last sort of few years, when you do play these lower tier tanks, whether you play tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, it's you seem to be lower bottom tier more often than not. Now most of my footage that I'm getting on all these series, yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. Now, I'm showing you just 2 replays, but every single replay or every single battle that I played in tier 5 in this tank, I was always bottom tier. I didn't manage to get to be top tier because that's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show just how strong. I mean, this tank's strong anyway, even against tier 6. Of course it can't quite get the block damage that you can get against tier 4, but it is still stupidly strong. I mean, that's an ARL 44 there, one of the best tier 6s in the game. Yes, we have switched to APCR, but we can just penetrate him like butter. Obviously the AP is kind of difficult to pen his front plate, but even being a tier 5, we can just go through him like butter. So yeah, I really did want to get into a tier 4 game just to show this tank how much of a bully this tank actually is against bottom tier tanks, but unfortunately we couldn't quite do that, so we just had to make do with what we got. So far this game, it is now a 6 versus 4. I'm just going to sit here and wait for my team to come. I'm not going to rush. I'm not going to rush in and get absolutely deleted. We're just going to be patient. And now it's a 6 versus 3. The VK2801 there is pretty much a 1-shot, maybe a 2-shot if I'm going to shoot him. So it's an easy win. It is an easy win, but off guard there, I literally just completely forgot the ARL was there. I was too busy focusing on the VK. But at this point, my team is now behind. Even if I die at this point, it doesn't matter. So that is what I think is the strongest tier 5. Now notice how I'm saying the strongest, because that's what I think it is. With the whole series, I'm always going to use the word strongest or weakest. Just because I'm saying strongest, it doesn't mean that it is the best tier 5 or the best tier 10. I'm just saying I think it's the strongest or the weakest, and if I'm saying it's the weakest, doesn't mean it's the worst. I just think it's there's reasons why it is weak, and probably why it's the I think it's the weakest tank or the strongest tank in the game, if you get what I'm saying. But the first video, it is the T1 heavy. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think is the strongest tier 5 tank in the game? Hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye. With